What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer taking a look at Tistina. Tistina is a deck that I have wanted to play for a really long time now, and I've been stewing on it forever and ever, and then finally, something of a deck kind of clicked in my mind, and I want to show it to you guys today. So you can actually do some pretty insane stuff with these cards. Now, Testina by itself does absolutely nothing, pretty much. Its archetype doesn't actually even really make any sense with all the different levels. I'm assuming there's going to be a Link monster at some point, probably a Link 2 for Testinas, and it'll be the Link monster will be light, I'm sure. But anyways, there's still some things you can do now. So I've been getting into this Cashier engine recently, and it's like truly incredible. It gets you so much material. So I can go for the level 4. It's like one of the best parts about it. Probably just go into a Shangri-Ear, get myself Fenrir for next turn. Okay, so you got the continuous spell here. So the key interactions of the deck is I wanted to find a way to get to Artifact Durandal, because this card says it's an Omni Negate that forces your opponent to then destroy a spell and trap that you control. So you have to be careful. You can't have any other spells and traps, but the key interaction is the field spell, which you will be able to grab pretty soon here. You'll see in the combo. One of the cards does get you to the field spell, and the only thing you have to do now is get rid of this continuous spell. And so meaning, when you do this Omni Negate, your opponent's going to let you, make you plus, a bunch. Okay, so there goes the main Tistina monster. Should have put in attack mode, the demigod. It searches a spell. So there you go. The Astraltopia gets rid of the continuous spell. That way I don't have any spells and traps anymore. But you're going to go ahead and you can send the Sentinel. Sentinel can bring itself back, destroy a face-down card, and then you get to add a Tistina monster. Now you could also just target this and go into the new rank 10 monster, which is an Omni Negate, which is really good. But then you just kind of have this random guy on the board. So there is a way you can make it a little bit better. You can copy the level, and now I can normal summon. I haven't done that yet, which is insane. And go into the Tellarknight Ptolemaeus, right? Because that lets you go up one rank higher. So there you go. You've cheated out Durandal. Pretty much the best way to do it, which is kind of nuts. I love being able to go into any archetypal 5 is so cool. I think it's such a cool card. I'm so glad it's off the ban list. So here comes our Omni Negate here, Shangri-Ear. And then now you can just kind of go through this XYZ armor combo, which is going to get you a draw. Obviously, it doesn't matter what it is. And then you also get to add this full armor and XYZ. Now, you got to activate this early, right? Again, this is an Omni Negate, but it forces your opponent. It changes the effect to destroying one spell and trap on the field. So you can't have this, or else, of course, your opponent would force that out. So on the draw phase, you're going to go ahead and rip this during the next turn. But you'll see what happens. So the Demigod is here. It's a Book of Moon during your opponent's turn if you control the other monster. But there we go. I'm going to fire this early. That way, the only spell and trap I control is the field spell. Shangri-Ear, obviously, in the standby phase is going to get you Fenrir. So this is pretty good. This is looking pretty good. There's also an attachment coming. And this is obviously just a random example. So my opponent could go for a unicorn or something like that. And there we go. I'm going to change the effect, so that's not going to go through. Now he's going to destroy the field spell, bring out the other guy. So if my opponent tried to normal summon something, boom. I still have full armor. I still had Fenrir. And yeah, that's pretty good. Right? It's an attachment, which is decent form of interruption. And this is pretty much the same thing, but if you don't open the continuous spell, if you actually open the field spell itself, there is one other really cool thing you can do. In fact, this is probably the better play. You'd rather see the field spell than the continuous spell, and you'll see why in a second. Now this is going to do, I'm going to do something pretty weird. So I'm going to go into the Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon, and I'm going to go ahead and special summon the Astrotopia. I'm going to send the Auroradon to the graveyard. You may be thinking why? That just feels like an absolute waste. Well, first of all, I haven't normal summoned yet, which is really good, but I need the zone. I will not have enough zones to do this if I don't do this right. Also, I do need a machine monster into the graveyard. Okay, so there goes the Ascended Sage. Now, I'm not going to go into the Utopia package because I need 2 zones on the board for the Testina cards. But yeah, you can just, instead of trying to go into F-Zero, you can now just use your expended CS Utopic stage for XYZ Armor Fortress, which is a really good interaction. Also, this card does not need 3 materials like I showed in the first video, because it lets you attach one from the, it lets you attach at the end phase a Stellar Knight monster, and then you can go up anyways. So that's really awesome. So you don't need 3 materials. It'll give you the 3rd material if you don't have it. So there goes Spriggans, and now I can search an Omni Negate, and that's why I sent the Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon to the graveyard. That way I had a machine. You can also, with the Merrymaker, send a level 4, but it is a brick, and you want to play the least amount of bricks as possible. So I'm just going to utilize the up and zones that I get. And now I can do some pretty cool stuff. So the only thing here is that you have to make sure that you use this interruption first, because this is a spell and trap. In XYZ armor, you would obviously also like fire in the draw phase. But what I sent to the graveyard with the field spell is this monster called Fallen of the Testina. If the field spell destroyed, you can banish it and special summon a Tistina monster, which is super important, right? This only gets you one, and then this one will get you the other. So it's like actually kind of cool that you can send different cards to the graveyard depending on like the board and the cards that you have on your hand. Again, like if you open this versus the continuous spell, because you'll see here, again, this is just like a random duel. And also you can hold on to this, right? You have the Omni Negate, which is pretty cool. And because the reason when you want to do that, this has an effect, like if you detach materials off an XYZ monster, lets you like destroy or bounce a card back to the hand. So it is technically another form of interruption. And again, this is just random. Let's say they activate something, you go for the Therius. So now you can like probably go into the full armor. I should have activated it already, doesn't really matter. It's just testing, but so there we go. I have the full armor. So now this graveyard's in the it's in the graveyard, so I don't have any spells and traps with the field spell. So now I can, pop a card, whatever, Opstar Goblin again, whatever card, you have your Omni Negate here is going to destroy it, and then boom, those are both going to trigger. So I get both monsters from the deck, actually. And now I can quick effect Book of Moon my opponent, sorry. And then also, obviously, I still had the trap in the graveyard, so even more interruption after that. After 2 Omni Negates, Book of Moons, and then like an attachment of one of your opponent's monsters. Like, that's a pretty cool end board, and I feel like for Testina, it's about as good as it gets. It's actually kind of fun. Like, I'm glad I like cracked the code. Not to say that this is good or it's going to be like overly consistent, but I think it's neat that it's like actually kind of an idea and it actually kind of works. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I will see you guys next time.